The stunning accusations about the death of Princess Diana are being reviewed by authorities, who are now examining the new and sensational claim that she was murdered by the British government. Diana, Princess of Wales, died in a car accident, and her partner, Dodi Fayed, also perished just a few minutes ago. The royal family has left everyone astonished with a surprising revelation that is echoing through the palace halls. Several members of the royalty are openly defying tradition, visibly distressed and choosing their own paths. This chaos has resurrected dark tales long buried, especially about Princess Diana, whose tragic life and enigmatic death continue to cast a shadow over the royal saga. With such a sudden and intense revelation, what other long-hidden stories might emerge? Let's uncover the mysteries that have been kept hidden for so long. Diana's struggle with love and loyalty has been a recurring theme in the recent and fascinating stories about the British royal family, revealing some persistent issues behind the palace doors. Some members of the royalty seem dissatisfied with their lives and are beginning to forge their own paths. Amidst all this, a surprising detail from decades past has come to light, shared by someone who was once close to the royal family. This has reignited conversations about the sad and untimely death of Princess Diana. As tensions rise, an old letter from Princess Diana has resurfaced, hinting at a secret that could shake the foundations of the monarchy. Looking back on her life, Diana Spencer was born on July 1, 1961, into a noble family known for being shy and quiet. She first met Prince Charles through her older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer. Lady Sarah had a brief relationship with him in the late 1970s, but their relationship ended after she openly declared that she would not marry him, regardless of his royal status. However, this breakup paved the way for Diana and Charles to meet, beginning a romance that the whole world would closely follow. In 1980, 19-year-old Diana and 32-year-old Charles started dating despite their notable age difference, which would later cause issues in their views on life. Meanwhile, the public was fascinated by their relationship. From the beginning, she felt uncomfortable in their relationship. She was particularly bothered by his persistent feelings for his ex-girlfriend, Camilla P.B., even though he was with her. His lingering emotions and feelings for Camilla were clear. Later, she admitted that she often questioned his commitment to her, especially after hearing him speak fondly of Camilla to a friend, even saying he would always love her. After their engagement was announced, there was a well-known interview where a journalist asked him if he truly loved her. Charles gave a vague response, saying whatever in love means, which only made her feel more insecure about their relationship. Although she had doubts, the pressure of her royal status and her own inexperience made her set those feelings aside. On July 29, 1981, their wedding took place at St. Paul's Cathedral in London and was dubbed the Wedding of the Century. The ceremony was broadcast worldwide with around 750 million people watching the event. It was filled with elegance, befitting a future king and queen. She wore an impressive ivory silk gown designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel, which had a 25-foot train, adding extravagance to the day. Over 3,500 guests, including world leaders, royalty, and famous people, attended the event. But all the beauty and glamour could not hide the problems in their marriage. Soon it became known that Charles still had feelings for Camilla, involved with Camilla, which only made things more difficult for her. She was already struggling with her role in the royal family, and this only worsened it. Although the public saw their marriage as a fairy tale, the truth was much more difficult. Despite the grand wedding, she dealt with feelings of neglect and loneliness, especially after realizing that Charles had stronger feelings for someone else even before their marriage officially began. She felt Camilla's presence looming over her relationship with Charles. Despite her early attempts to win Charles's heart, she always felt overshadowed by Camilla, which only added pressure to their marriage over time. In 1995, a famous interview clearly revealed the struggles she faced, marking the beginning of a new chapter of pain and public scrutiny. In Echoes of Silence, she explained how she often felt ignored by Charles, longing for his affection but rarely receiving it. She described moments of deep despair where she went to extremes just to get his attention. A particularly angst-filled moment occurred when she was pregnant with her first child, Prince William. In a state of emotional pain, she threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham, hoping that Charles would show some concern. However, to her disappointment, he barely reacted to her cries for help. This act was a cry for attention, a sign of how isolated she felt in her marriage. Fortunately, the baby was unharmed, but the incident showed the intense emotional struggles she faced. She admitted feeling lonely and betrayed, especially while trying to fulfill her responsibilities in the royal family, knowing that Charles's relationship with Camilla continued. Charles's affair with Camilla was a crucial point of conflict in their marriage. In the same interview, she famously said that there were 3 people in her marriage, hinting at the affair, the profound sorrow she felt knowing that Charles' heart was divided. As her marriage continued to crumble, she still tried to fix things, finding solace in her public duties, which brought her recognition and respect for her charitable work. However, that was not the end of her challenges. These revelations showed how hard she tried to find happiness and a sense of belonging, while also dealing with the painful reality of living a public life filled with personal sorrow. She found solace and recognition through her charitable work, but at home, she faced continuous struggles. In 1992, she and Charles decided to separate, and by 1996, they were officially divorced. During this time, she faced immense public and private pressure, often speaking about how hard she tried to fix things. The impossibility of reconciling due to Charles' close connection with Camilla marked their relationship. When their divorce was finalized, she had accepted the fact that she could not win Charles' love. Their tumultuous relationship left deep emotional scars, but it also helped her become more resilient and independent. Her focus shifted towards raising her children, Prince William and Prince Harry, and continuing her humanitarian work. These roles gave her purpose in the following years, and she became the beloved people's princess around the world. The constant media attention became a dangerous factor. On that fateful night, she and Dodi were staying at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, owned by Dodi's father. After spending the evening there, they attempted to leave quietly, hoping to avoid the paparazzi who followed them everywhere. Their desire for privacy led to a tragic car accident that ended their lives and left the world in shock. A group of photographers had gathered in front of the hotel, eager to take pictures, but they slipped out the back door to avoid being seen. They were heading to Dodi's apartment in Paris. Henri Paul, temporarily in charge of security at the Ritz Hotel, was driving. With them was Trevor Rees-Jones, Dodi's personal bodyguard. Unfortunately, as soon as they departed, the photographers realized their destination and began to pursue them aggressively. These same photographers had been following Diana during her stay in Paris, and now their pursuit became even more intense as the car sped away. After a devastating crash, a wave of shock and questions followed the incident in the Alma Tunnel. The black Mercedes they were traveling in sped into the tunnel under the Alma Bridge at high speed, trying to escape the photographers. Unfortunately, shortly after entering the tunnel, the car crashed into a pillar at around 105 km/h. The impact was devastating. Dodi Fayed and Henri Paul died instantly at the scene, while she was severely injured but still alive. Emergency services arrived quickly and rushed her to the hospital. At the Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital, the journey took almost 2 hours, but despite all medical efforts, she passed away a few hours later. Trevor Rees-Jones, the bodyguard, survived, although he was severely injured and faced a long road to recovery. However, that was not the most surprising part. When the initial investigation results were revealed, they were shocking. French authorities reported that Henri Paul had been drinking, with his alcohol level being 3 times the legal limit. This was identified as the main reason for the accident. Additionally, it was discovered that none of the passengers, except Rees-Jones, were wearing seatbelts, which significantly reduced their chances of survival. The news of her death shocked people around the world, everyone around the world. She was not only admired for her beauty and elegance but also for her kindness and the way she connected with people. Her involvement in humanitarian work and her ability to relate to ordinary people made her loved by many. When she passed away, millions mourned her loss, feeling a deep sadness that such a compassionate person was taken away so suddenly. There was also much anger directed at the paparazzi, who were often blamed for invading her privacy. This raised important questions about how public figures should be treated and how journalism should be handled more responsibly. Despite these discussions, the world continued to mourn the sudden and tragic way her life ended. One of the most affected by her death was her butler, Paul Burrell. Burrell had worked for her for more than 10 years, and during that time, their relationship became much more than just employer and employee. Burrell had started as a young man from a working-class family in Derbyshire, England. His dream of working for the royal family began when, as a child, he saw the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace. From that moment, he knew he wanted to be part of the royal household. At 18, Burrell's dream came true when he secured a job at Buckingham Palace, working as a footman for Queen Elizabeth II. He quickly proved his dedication and work ethic. In 1987, he became her personal footman, and from that moment, his role grew. When she and Prince Charles separated in 1992, Burrell's work became even more focused on supporting her. He became her butler and, eventually, her personal assistant, taking care of her home and traveling with her on many trips. Their bond strengthened over time. Burrell was not just an employee but became one of her closest friends.